Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in with Gabbin with Gabrielle. Today is all about you and your body. Today joining me is Professor Webb and Giselle, my amazing sister. You know, image, it plays a big role in society, from the past and to the present. The societal pressures that are placed on people about what the ideal of the ideal body through media, magazines, and what people are told affect people. So I just want to discuss with y'all, what is the ideal body? How has it affected you, and what does it mean to both of y'all?
Okay, well, you know, the ideal body to me, being I love to work out, it's like feeling good. You know, I grew up and, you know, thinking that you had to be this skinny person, and, you know, if you had the long hair that's what it meant to be pretty. But as I grew up, I mean, I did lose pounds, but it wasn't because of what society said. It was because I was just, you know, I wanted to be able to run without being out of breath.
Out of breath.
And I just wanted to do things. And I liked the way I made my body, and I made my body on how I want to make it, not how society say, oh, that looks nice. So that's what the ideal body is to me.
All right, just because I know you personally, growing up, you were always called the bigger twin.
Yeah.
And you just said, did that affect you? You said it didn't, but did it really, in reality, did it, Giselle?
It did, especially, I'm not even, like, pointing fingers at you, but, I mean, sometimes when you would call me names, but, you know, but that was all, like, you know, if you're growing up big as a child, you face those things, getting called names by siblings or friends, and, you know, not only did I lose the weight, you know, to be, like, show people, like, yeah, I was fat, but, like, now I'm or obese, and now I'm not, and I'm at, like, not the prime of my life, but what I like. And so it did affect me a little bit. I did have a little low self-esteem because of it, but, I mean, I didn't let it stop me.
Yeah, well, I know you personally, you go to the gym every morning. How can you encourage people who, like, they're comfortable in their skin, but they want to make a little bit of changes? How can you encourage them?
Well, you know, you first got to be dedicated. You could say you're going to do it and talk yourself, but if you're not dedicated, you're really not going to do it. You're going to lay back in the bed, or you're going to keep doing what you wanted to do. So you got to be dedicated. You have to have a plan, something to go by. You got to want it, and you really just got to keep going and not give up. Really.
What about you, Professor Webb?
Well, I think I really appreciate Giselle's comments about how you want your body to be the best it is for you.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that is really complicated, and I think that a lot of us are faced with images that we consume and ideas about the way we are supposed to be and the way that we're supposed to look that are frankly impossible for some of us. And I think that there's a really important balance for young women when it comes to learning what is right for them and what is healthy and what is happy for them, but not trying to live up to this idea of something that is unattainable or unrealistic. And I think that one of the things that we should all be doing is really supporting everybody at whatever stage they are. And helping them feel comfortable with who they are and being happy with who they are. I think the thing that, from my own experience, has been realizing that I spent way too much time thinking about my body and thinking about my weight and thinking about my hair and putting so much time and effort into that it was something that was consuming who I was and didn't allow me to have a chance to be the person that I wanted to be. That it became way more about my body, the management of my body, obsessing about what I was eating, whether it was I was eating not enough to be healthy or eating too much to be healthy. Those are things that really have been a struggle for me my entire life. Well, probably not my entire life. I think it was more around that age of adolescence when that came in. But I think it's something that's really tough. And when you're a little girl, and there's certain ideas of what it means to be pretty, I think that is, and you understand from a very young age that being pretty as a little girl is very important.
It really is.
That is what is more important, you know. that's one of the things I also try and do when I talk to my students, when I talk to my niece. I want people to be able to understand that while we know we're communication, we're communication people,
yes, we are.
And we know that the clothes that we wear, the makeup we wear, the way we wear our hair, is going to have something to do with the way people perceive us.
Yeah.
And we understand that, but to try and balance that in a way where we don't feel that we have to be something that we're not.
You know, I remember, like, in your class, Gender and Society, I remember was talking about how, like, as a child, you know, you see these images on TV on how what it means to be pretty. Like, for example, like for African Americans, you have to have, you know, the straight hair. And that actually goes back to, you know, with Caucasians as well. You know, they have the straight hair and they're skinny and they're model when they're like on television and stuff. You see them as models, and that's really not healthy. Like, that's not healthy because a lot of those models like starving themselves and doing stuff to themselves so they can be that image that the agency wants them to be, and that portrays a bad image for people in the world, like little girls watching it. It's just like, you know, I have to starve myself, I have to have the straight hair. Like, my hair is your texture. Like, I love my hair straight, but it is work, and so it's like I prefer to wear my hair the way I can just wet it and just go. And so I think, like, if once people get comfortable, like you said, like as a little kid, that once they get comfortable, like, okay, I can wear my hair curly and I can have my ponytails, whatever you call them. But yeah, ponytails. Yeah.
I would call them pigtails.
Yeah. See, that goes to culture thing. Being comfortable with yourself is very, very important. And the stuff, the media really doesn't do a good job at making little children, even male and females, it makes males believe that they have to be strong muscular people just to get females, and vice versa for females. Like, they have to be skinny with straight hair, or, you know, and I just don't think that's how it should be.
I think the hair conversation is an interesting one.
Yeah.
Especially for us as African American women.
Yeah, but the media is kind of now understanding our point of view about image. You showed us the tough guys, but also the commercial about Dove. How the little girls are embracing their hair, different skin colors. It's just about embracing it. But it's all about loving yourself. For me, that came at when I was about 10th grade. I always, before then, listened to like what my family said, or people said you shouldn't do this because you'll be perceived like that, or you shouldn't wear that because you'll be perceived like that. You shouldn't play this because that's not for girls.
Stereotypes,
yeah. And so, like, it was about 10th grade. I was listening to India Ari. It was I Am Not Your Hair. I was listening to that song, and I just said, oh, Gabby, you're not your hair, but you're not what others say you are. You're who you are, and you're Gabrielle Johnson. And from then, I just started being myself, you know. And I started loving myself, and I realized everybody's like, Gabby, I like your style, whatever. But it was me, you know. It wasn't what everybody else said. You can't do that. I was creating me. And a funny story is because over Christmas break, my little cousin, she was like, Gabby, I'm gonna be just like you. I'm trying to be just like you. I'm gonna start my own trend. And I was just like, oh, okay, well, what's your trend? And she was like, I'm gonna start a Star Wars trend. I was like, oh, yes. I was like, oh, and then I was thinking about it. But I was like, do you, Kayla? I was like, do you, because that's all that you can be, is yourself. And so it's all about loving you and your body. And any last words that y'all have for the people who are viewing this about your image?
Do you. And just be who you want to be. Be happy with yourself. Don't let anybody discourage you. And you do not have to be what others want you to be. You can be you.
Yeah.
I think that we all need to work together to support each other in our families, with our friends, with our students, our coworkers, that, you know, people are wonderful as they are, and that we should embrace each other with our different expressions, our different performances, and understand that we all are very beautiful, and that we are, like you said, more than our hair, more than our makeup, more than our clothes, and find that balance about how we work on presenting ourselves to the world, but also making sure that we're happy, and we're comfortable, and we're healthy.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's what we need to do, and I think that that starts with us being happy and comfortable with who we are, and being role models for other
young ones,
other people out there.
Yeah.
And I also think that we have to take an active role when we communicate to the young women and girls in our families, and support them and let them know that they are perfect just the way they are.
Well, I do appreciate y'all. I really
Thank
do
you.
appreciate you, Professor Webb, and Giselle.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you all for tuning in with another episode of Gabbin with Gabrielle. Have a wonderful day.